Hello friends, I am Zairunisha and today I am going to discuss about existential ethics. Basically, existential ethics is derived from existentialism, which is a branch of European continental philosophy. Existentialism emphasizes on individual's life and his concrete existence, freedom and its inescapable responsibility by assuming him as an agent and determining his future projects through his free acts. Such attitudes towards mundane world give rise to the most fundamental ethical problems related to human existence, freedom and responsibility. For existentialists, philosophical inquiry begins with accepting human beings not only as thinking subjects but as acting, feeling and living individuals. With that in their mind, these thinkers have tried to understand the nature of morality and moral conduct within the existentialist framework. They are primarily claim that human beings are ontologically free. Human nature is chosen through free choices within the given situation. Moral values are created by individuals rather than discovered, and moral life should not be a matter of rules and principles. They claim that human beings are capable of giving meaning to their life by making free rational decisions instead of just accepting or acting on the basis of irrational beliefs. Thus, there is no need to accept any transcendental religious entity called God as a supreme creator and judge of our action. They strongly believe that we are thrown into this world without our choices, and through our free choices we create ourselves. In this way, though being in this world is our facticity, it can be changed by performing our free actions. Thus, the central position of existentialist philosophy lies in individuals' concrete experience of the world by rejecting the absolute, transcendental and universal form of morality and replacing it with individual or particular ones. This is a brief introduction that I have given to you, but in order to understand existential ethics properly, we need to look at its historical emergence. From the very beginning, existentialism is viewed as a movement followed by those thinkers who have refused to believe in any fundamental philosophical system, theories and ideas. We can say that it is a kind of backlash against traditional philosophical schools such as rationalism, empiricism, positivism and transcendentalism, because these schools try to seek or establish general universal moral norms and principles for humanity as a whole, whereas existentialists advocate ontological freedom of individual human beings, their capability to choose and give meaning to their individual way of life, goals and projects. In this way, they not only reject all kind of determinism but also promote personal freedom and choice in any given situation. Generally, it is said that existentialism has begun during World War II and became popular among European youth. It had a great influence in various disciplines beside philosophy, including theology, drama, art, theatre and psychology, in which writings of Soren Kierkegaard and Friedrich Nietzsche played a significant role. It has been further flourished by the scholarly and fictional works of Heidegger, Jean-Paul Sartre, Albert Camus, Franz Kafka, Simone de Beauvoir, etc. We can understand existentialist ethics into two categories, theist and atheist. In the former category, we can put Soren Kierkegaard, who is seen as the first existentialist thinker. His notion and understanding of God is different from the other religious beliefs that make him existentialist. He was associated with the idea of truth as subjective, which means something that is personal or related to personal experience. He also says that although ethics is subjective, but it is based on some transcendental entity. The later category is related with atheist existential philosophers who have denied the existence of transcendental entities or realm to show the relation of ethics with the everyday world. For them, every individual is important to create ethical values. Actually, their primary intention is to reject the transcendental or universal philosophy by establishing individuals into it. Friedrich Nietzsche says that it is essentially required to clear the ground before proposing a new system. He realized that other sciences have already started devaluing traditional moral values and the existence of God. In this scenario, he has attempted to explore and uncover the meaning of human existence and its relation with earth and life. Another existentialist philosopher we can talk about is Martin Heidegger, who has also given emphasis on the meaning of individual human beings and its facticity, that is called Dasein, which means individuation. Similarly, Jean-Paul Sartre has declared that human being is condemned to be free in the sense we cannot reject our ontological freedom. We are always free to make our choices and set our future projects. Other important thinker of this tradition is Simone de Beauvoir, who has not only addressed the vulnerability of human existence, but also the limitations of human freedom. She says that human existence is ambiguous by nature as it is always revolved around the facticity and transcendence. She also says that man is free, but this freedom does not exist in isolation. We are being with others. So, in order to exercise our freedom, we need to free others also and get support from them. Now, let's discuss the basic features of existential ethics. First important feature is existence itself, which means self-making in a situation. All existentialist thinkers believe in the idea of existence, which is not only existence of a thing, but also human existence. There is a difference between existence of a thing and human existence. The existence of a thing or an entity is fixed and unchangeable. Sartre calls it thing in itself, whereas the existence of human being is not fixed. It is constantly changing or always in a process of becoming. It is also known as thing for itself. He says we are what we want to make ourselves, not what the nature or culture wants us to be. And here he gives his famous dictum, existence precedes essence, which means our existence comes first and then we choose what we want to become. In this way, human subjectivity is a starting point for existentialist ethics. Human beings are self-conscious, self-interpreting and world-interpreting beings. Although, like any object, our situation is given to us. We cannot choose it, but we have a capacity to change it and set our projects. Next feature is freedom and responsibility. Existentialists emphasize on human freedom and its responsibility in terms of free choices. They claim that every man is ontologically free. It reflects one's internal capacity to shape the life according to one's freely chosen projects and goals rather than being determined by given situations such as genetics, family, society, etc. Freedom is not confined with any circumstances, but this freedom always comes with taking the responsibility of one's freedom and free actions. They say, in becoming aware that I am free and self-determined being, I also become aware that I am fundamentally responsible for the person I have chosen to be. In this way, they connect freedom with responsibility in order to show the authenticity of human life and freedom itself. Third feature is facticity and transcendence. Facticity is something which is already given to us. Technically, this term is used by Martin Heidegger to show the way human beings are engaged with social, historical and physical givenness of their situation. It is the way in which an individual is situated in this lived world without its choice. However, facticity is not a destiny. It can be changed by transcending from one's given situation. Here, transcendence refers to going beyond itself or transcend itself from the given condition and looking towards for future possibility. It is through transcendence the world reveals itself in the form of future projects. Fourth feature is alienation. Generally, the term alienation is used to indicate a kind of separation and detachment that occurs within one's authentic nature. It can be understood into two ways: alienation of the self and of the world. Self-alienation refers to the process of giving meaning to the world through individual. Due to this, the world comes into the picture, but it has no effect on the world. Second, alienation states that there is no one individual in the world, rather others are also involved in it. We can say that I am not the only revealer of the world, but the world includes the other people as well. Sartre says alienation happens in the situation of bad faith when individual refuses to take the responsibility of his freedom and free action in the world and try to put it on others or sometime on God, which does not exist. These situations reflect themselves in the form of alienation. However, we can overcome the situation of alienation by accepting the responsibility of our freedom. Ambiguity is another feature that commonly understood as an unclear thought or vagueness that needs to be avoided. But in existentialism, it is taken in a positive sense by saying that it is a basic nature of being human. It means human beings are complex creatures. They cannot be defined exclusively by their one or two qualities that make them as ambiguous beings. Simone de Beauvoir says life in itself is neither good nor evil. It is the place of good and evil according to what you make it. Thus, human life is not just given, we can make according to our choices. We can see that man actualizes and flourishes his freedom within manifold of ambiguity. Now let me conclude by analyzing the relevance of existentialism in present context. From this discussion, I can say that although existentialist ethics is a past engagement, a classical thought, still it is valuable and significant in modern time. We still ask ethical questions about human existence and its actions, freedom, responsibility and facticity, etc., that are central to existentialism. Nowadays, we study existentialism as a part of continental philosophy. Also, the Society of Phenomenology and Existentialism is contributing important role by engaging other disciplines with classical existentialist ideology. Today, thinkers such as Charles Taylor, Paul Ricoeur, David Kerr, Margaret Simon, Gail Weiss and Herbert Differs are continuously exploring, re-evaluating and applying various existentialist approaches into the present problems and trying to find out solution for it. So, I can say existential ethics is a valuable school and it has a relevance in present context.